Hello, my name is The Cinegeek, and welcome to Perception Media. Today I'm going to be talking about Ash and the Evil Dead, which is, actually specifically, I'm just be talking about the Evil Dead franchise and Ash because he's the main character. He's the final boy of it. This is one of my favorite franchises. However, I have not seen all of these series because I don't have Showtime, which is a heartbreaker. So I'm kind of de-emphasizing the TV show and emphasizing the films to kind of clear some things up, because I've noticed that some people don't really understand how continuity-wise the films work. So the first Evil Dead came out in like 1981, 1982. Okay, so if you look on the interwebs, pretty much everything says 1981. However, I know some people keep saying it came out in 1982, so I'm assuming they were alive and there for that happening, and the internet is wrong. I don't know. So basically, what happens is there's a group of 5 college students who go to Michigan State, and they are going camping in a cabin in the woods. Seems legit. So you have Ash Williams, his sister Cheryl, his girlfriend Linda, his friend Scotty, and Scotty's girlfriend Shelly. So they go to this cabin. It's not made clear who owns the cabin, if they're renting the cabin, if they just randomly found the cabin, but they're in a cabin. They're camping-ish. They go across a bridge. They're chilling. They're having a nice time. Except they're not. There's some tree rape. They read from a book. Bad things happen. People get possessed. Ash kills some people. Scotty killed some people. Ash killed Scotty. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot more blood. There's so much blood. And then Ash goes outside, and then there's like the invisible force comes and hits him, and it cuts to the credits. Cool. Next film, Evil Dead 2, came out in 1987, but picks up right where the first film ends. So Sam Raimi, who made the film, didn't have the rights to his first film because he used a different producer. So he could use the same name and the same names of the characters, but he couldn't use any footage from the film, and he wanted to do a recap. So I feel like at this point, he should have just broken the cardinal rule of film where don't tell the audience, show the audience. He shouldn't have showed the audience. He should have just done like exposition, told us what happened, and then cut into the actual scene. But instead, he did a recap. But in his recap, he just hired a different actress to play Linda, and he had the same guy, Bruce Campbell, playing Ash. And Bruce Campbell always plays Ash, so there's no cast changes there. And they do kind of a different situation to kind of sum up what happened in the first movie. Honestly, if you wanted to watch it and have it be like the continuity be kind of better, you can just kind of like crop that part out. And then it picks up where Ash is being kind of thrown through the woods, and just start the movie there. And continuity-wise, it totally holds up if you just skip over the recap they did. So in this one, we see the bridge has been demolished, which you actually saw happen in the first one, but considering everything Ash has just been through, it makes sense that he's trying again. I would try again too, or forget. He's traumatized. So, okay, the bridge is down, he goes back to the cabin. He has just a total breakdown. He cuts his hand off because it's been infected. He re-kills Linda for like, I don't know, the 8th time. And meanwhile, there's a Dr. Nolby, Annie, I'm bad with names, Annie Nolby and her partner, Ed, come to the cabin, and they're led there by 2 kind of hillbillies whose name I didn't care to remember. And the tape recorder that Ash found in the original film, and still has in this one, is of Annie Nolby's father, Professor Nolby, who had previously been at the cabin with his wife, apparently only a week earlier, which seems like what happened to the professor, because he killed and buried his wife Henrietta in the fruit cellar. but no sign of him, and it's been a week. Where'd he go? Is he dead on the loose? I have so many unanswered questions. So anyway, all four of them come and think Ash killed her parents, so then they throw him in the basement, and then they play the recorder, and more things are read. Henrietta, the dead wife / Annie's mother, has been buried in the fruit cellar. She comes back. They release Ash. All of them get infected and die, except for Annie, whose Ash's severed hand comes and kills her, but not before she read from the book and opens up a portal and sends him through time. It's a lot of work. And he ends up in the 1300s where the Kandarian spirit originated. That all made sense, right? So the Kandarian spirit is, or I don't know, it's where the book is from. And I guess he's in England, because I'm pretty sure in the 1300s, the woods of Tennessee didn't have knights or castles. I could be super wrong, but I'm like fairly certain. Anyway, so there's like an end scene where he's in the 1300s, and that is where Army of Darkness picks up. However, again, Sam Raimi didn't have the rights to the previous film, so he filmed another recap, which is different from the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, where we see Ash is an S-Mart employee with his girlfriend Linda, and they go to the cabin, then he's sent back in time, blah, 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 blah. Again, if you just cut off the end of Evil Dead 2 and the very beginning of Army of Darkness, then you have perfect continuity, and it just keeps going, except for the fact that it came out in 1992, and Bruce Campbell is obviously aged. If you just, like I said, cut off like the recaps and the end sequence of Evil Dead 2, then it really does, continuity-wise, just line up. So all of these things happened in like a weekend in 1981. So just kind of going through Army of Darkness. I'm just gonna skip pretty much all the way through it. He has to go find a book. He brings an Army of Darkness to life that's pretty much all skeletons and an evil version of himself. Then he brings the book back to this guy. He reads from the book. He says his spell, but he says it wrong. He gets transported back to where he's from in 1981. I'm assuming he goes back to Michigan, or I don't know if he's transported back at the cabin. I'm assuming not. That'd be awkward though. And anyways, so like I said, he didn't read the spell right, so the Deadites are back. But like that's where I have so many questions, and I know the TV show did address them. In the first season of the TV show, they didn't have the rights to Army of Darkness. They only had the rights to Evil Dead 1 and 2. And I know picking up in season 2 or 3, or just, which is about to start, they finally got the rights to Army of Darkness. Which is kind of ridiculous. I feel bad for Sam Raimi. He keeps not getting the rights to the things that he created, which must suck. So anyway, they do kind of address things, but I just like, what was Ash's first moves when he got back? Like, he just cut his right hand. He just cut his right hand off, like, less than a week ago with no medical attention. I feel like first step, get to a hospital, get some, like, antibiotics, make sure he doesn't have an infection, because sometimes if you have a limb severed, in that kind of, like, in your, like, outdoors, sometimes they'll need to go further because it's been infected. That's so depressing. So anyway, I hope his first step was to go to a hospital. And also, he just went to, like, the 1300s, and there are definitely, like, horrible diseases they had back then that were not really inoculated against because we weren't alive in that time. So he could have, like, the bubonic plague. I don't know when that was a thing. I feel like 1500s, but he could easily have some sort of, like, horrible disease. Yeah, I would just be at a hospital, like, I need, like, everything checked out. And then he'd probably need to talk to the police because his girlfriend, his sister, and then like 6 other people were killed in this cabin that he was supposed to be camping at. So he probably has a lot of explaining to do. And I know in the TV show they do address that, and that the town thought he was a murderer and they were calling him Ashy Slashy. That is hard to say. So then he's just kind of been on the move, and he has kind of mild PTSD, and he's still guarding over the book. I don't understand. That book is a whole other thing. How does he still have the book? Where did that book come from? Why did they change the name of the book from Army of Darkness 1 to Army of Darkness 2? Would that had to do with the rights? Because I feel like in the first one, it was called, what was it called? Naturum Demonto. Whereas in subsequent films, it's called Necronomicon Ex Mortis. why they changed the name of the book. I just have like so many questions as to what Ash was up to. I just need like another movie that was like when Ash came back home. I want to see a reel of that. That would make my day. Even if it's animated, did they have a comic book series? I feel like they do. They did Jason versus Freddy versus Ash, which is a great comic book from 2007. It was only six editions, limited, and it picks up after Freddy versus Jason, which is such a good read. I totally recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Ash. But I think in that one, he's still working at S-Mart, and I'm assuming he was somehow fired from S-Mart because he was telling people he killed demons. I don't know. But anyway, now he works at Value Stop, and it's just not as fun as S-Mart. A little sad. But I've only watched like the first 3 episodes of Ash versus the Evil Dead, and I'm trying to watch the others. I think I'm just going to buy it, but it's so good. I totally love the Evil Dead series. It's such a cult phenomenon, and if you watch the movies, they're not good, and yet they're so great, and that's probably what makes them so good. And Bruce Campbell's amazing. Who doesn't love him? So that's kind of just trying to explain the continuity of the Evil Dead. I can't explain the book name change, and I want answers to that. So this has been the Cinegeek. We need a Moon Knight movie. Have a great day.